welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. So this is the final sort of game day, if you like, video of the season. We have got some more content coming up, end of season stuff, like an end of season review. We're going to do like a little awards video, if you like, and be some other stuff coming in the pipeline before the Euros and then into the Euros. But today we just want to look at how the season did end, and that is the playoff final. Do a little bit of a review on that. Probably won't be too long, because I don't know if we've got an awful lot to talk about. Don't want to be too negative, but obviously we did lose the game, which we're all aware of at this point, I'm sure. Unless you've been living under a rock. But so I got Lee with me today, joining me on this one, so welcome back, Lee.
Hello.
And Lee, unlike myself, actually got a ticket and went up to Wembley. So do you want to maybe, before we go into the nitty-gritty of the game, give us your experience then, because it's been over a year since the last time you went to a football match. And you're going back, and the first one you're going back to is Wembley. So that's a bit crazy, really.
Yeah, it was class. I actually missed the last home game before COVID hit. It was the West Brom game. I was away, so I missed the last home game. So I can't even remember what my last game was before I went back. So it must have been like 2 weeks before that when we were home. And I was on my way to Middlesbrough on the Friday. We were going to play Middlesbrough away on the Saturday. And we got up there, and they cancelled football then, didn't they? So that was the last ticket I bought, and then got a Wembley ticket then. So yeah, it was a bit weird. It was class. Oh, because it all happened last minute. Because obviously they released an extra 1,000, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's when I got my ticket then with my season ticket. So it was just last minute then, just last minute plans, and then it was weird. I don't know. Even though we'll go on to the game, and it was, looking back, it was poor, but I just had a class day. Just getting back into the football, like proper. You realise what you miss, and the one thing I missed about going was just the atmosphere and talking to fans and going to the pub before a game and just talking to different people, bumping into people you haven't seen for ages. Weather was lovely in London as well, so I had a cracking day, even though the result was poor.
Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter. We would have liked to have gone up to the Premier League, but the bottom line is we're actually playing football again and allowed to go and watch it and have a catch up and have a drink and all the rest of it. It doesn't matter what league you're in, that's still happening, and that's the main thing, really. So being able to do that again is nice. Hopefully, going into next season, it will become more normal once again, and less restrictions, full houses. Hopefully, if things.
I can't wait to get to a full house again. I've got you get the buzz then, don't you? When you go to say it's been the summer when we've been off, and then you go to the first away game of the season, you get the buzz then. You can't wait for the next one. So I really can't wait now. And like I said to you, the guy that was sitting behind me said he watches the podcast. So I didn't catch his name. So hopefully he's watching.
Yeah, well, shout out to
that
the
was
guy
nice.
Sitting behind Lee in the stands.
That was nice, and I bumped into Alex as well from the Send Him Off podcast. So it's just nice to actually see people in person.
Yeah. Oh, he was up there, was he? That's good. Check those guys out, by the way. They do another football podcast, not specifically just for Swansea, but they are Swansea fans, but they talk more broader football. They do some stuff on Swansea, of course. Send Them Off podcasts, so they're mainly on Spotify. I think they've got YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, but check them out. So they are good. Before we get into the video as well, if I can just ask everyone to just leave a like on this video. It's been a good season so far. We really appreciate all your support. But every time you like the video, it helps us grow, helps push it out to more people, and allows us to sort of keep going and create more and better stuff in the future. And obviously, if you're not already subscribed, then please also subscribe to make sure you keep up to date with everything that we do put out. Okay, going into the actual match then. So we know that next season we might have an away trip to Blackpool, so that means that we won't be going up to the Premier League because they just got promoted from League One. But at the end of the day, it was Brentford's day, Saturday, and I don't think, as much as it hurts to say it, I don't think anyone can argue that over the course of the last couple of years they didn't deserve eventually to go up, and they kind of made it hard for themselves. But I'm not here to just praise Brentford all the time. They did make it hard for themselves, because I'd argue they could have got automatic in the last 2 years. But we kind of made it a little bit easy for them on the day in a playoff final. Okay, so you were there, you were at the match. Do you want to run us through? Well, I mean, the first 20 minutes is where all the action happened, really, isn't it? So, do you want to run us through?
I don't know. I just got the feeling that like you said, it was going to be Brentford's day. I just don't think that we turned up. Maybe the occasion was too big for us. And like we said, 20 minutes, or well, 8 minutes. The first goal wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think as soon as Brentford got that first goal, they settled in really well. Then, I just like you said, I think all the pressure was on them, having not been promoted last couple of years, and I think that just settled them in then. And we made I think we were probably done then after, well, definitely after 2-0.
Yeah.
I just think it was too big for us. We looked a bit. We'll go into the nitty gritty now, the tactics and that they went into. But yeah, you could just sense, and after the first 20 minutes, that it was Brentford's day. They were just due to go up, and we were just there.
They've been building for a while. Like, I know it's, like I said, it's frustrating that we didn't go up. They've been building for a while though, like buying some sort of hidden gems, selling them for a lot of money, reinvesting that money, and it's been a long process for them of building a club in the right way, quite similar to maybe how we did it back when we went up 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit different to how we did it this time. We've come down, and we've done well since we've come down, rebuilding and stuff, but it's not the same as what they've been doing. And I think for them, it was kind of like finally the end goal, and it was achieved, sort of thing. So hopefully we can build on this as well and go forward next year.
They were ready to go up though. It was their time to go up.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably their time to go up last year, but I mean, they were definitely ready to go up.
Yeah.
They played the perfect playoff final. We said about us in the home and away leg, we probably played it so well. Playoff semi-final, 2 legs, and I think they played the perfect final. They were ready to go up.
You could argue that we learnt from our playoff semi-finals last year, got that right, but then again you're going into the unknown then against a Brentford team who lost a playoff final last year, so they could have learnt last year. Now who knows what's going to happen, but we just need to learn from it this time. Anyway, the first couple of minutes, sixth minute actually, Matt Grimes gets a yellow card, so I need to re-see this challenge because I only saw one replay on the telly, and I've just looked at the quick highlights on YouTube and didn't show it. But was that a red card?
It was a red, definitely. I actually, in the stadium, I couldn't see it. It was down the far end, but it looked alright to me. And then I saw like a few people had messaged me and said, "Oh my, he's lucky to still be on the pitch." I thought, no, not from where I'm sitting. But then when I watched it back, I was like, "Oh my, he should have gone."
Do you want to describe what happened? Because I need to see it again.
If I remember right, he just sort of has a bit of a heavy touch, and he's sort of chasing it. Then, and I can't remember who the player was, gets in front of him, and he's sort of lunging in, and he's high on his ankle, like he's high, studs up on his ankle.
All right, fair enough.
So I think
So when I saw the replay, I thought like, oh, well, he's got the ball, but I wasn't really I didn't see it enough to look at other details like studs up, whatever. So I need to see it again, but I think the general consensus has been that he was lucky there to not get a red card.
So that's what I mean, though. Like, so out of character. Obviously, big occasion early on. Bit of nerves, maybe. Never sort of see Grimes do anything like that. That's just another element that said like we weren't really there on the day.
Yeah. Obviously, you've mentioned the first goal, Freddie Woodman conceding a penalty, which, I mean, I think he's got to go down to try and make that save, but he gets it wrong. I mean, is it his fault, or was it the defender's fault for allowing the ball to come through, playing the guy on side? Like, there was...
Something's gone wrong
easy,
there.
Didn't they?
We were at that end of the stadium, and I was like, why didn't Cabango clear it? It looked like he was there to clear it, and then when I watched the replay, has an opportunity to clear it, but whether he gets a shout from Woodman to leave it, he's not expecting Wemo to get in there with his pace, but it just looks like Cabango can just clear it. Then he sort of leaves it. Woodman comes out and he nips in front of him.
Slowing down, doesn't he? I guess as Woodman's come in, and
maybe expects him to get it, but that again, I don't know if we'll go on to this later, but playing the 3 at the back, I think they were a bit all over the shop in the sort of the early stages.
Yeah, well, maybe have a look at.
When played 4 at the back for so long, and then go to that in the final. That might have been a reason why they sort of had that they got cut out by that ball through the middle.
Well, I didn't really get that, but we'll touch on that at the end when we look at maybe what went wrong. Okay, so that's the first goal, and Ivan Toney. I mean, he hasn't missed a penalty all year, so if you're going to pay money on it, you would pay money on him sticking it in the back.
Right way, though, didn't he?
To be honest, though, I was going to say credit to Woodman, because I don't think he could have done any better in trying to save it. Tony puts it literally in the corner with a bit of pace as well. Woodman nearly gets there. He really nearly gets there. Just couldn't get his hand down in time, I think, because you're jumping at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, the penalty taker should always score. If you're putting it in the corner, that sort of pace, you're always going to score against the goalkeeper. That's the whole point of a good penalty. It's risky because you could hit the post, go wide. But when you've got the clinical finishing that he's shown this season, Ayew's good for us, but he's missed one or two, hasn't he? So I would take Tony, and he doesn't have that run up that makes you scared either. But it is what it is. 1-0 to Brentford, and then we're on the attack. We get a corner. I think it was a corner or throw in or something. Regardless of what it was, Ayew's got the ball in the box, kind of playing it around the edges a little bit. He's running in, trying to do a little bit of twinkle toes, gets tackled. I think it was Marcondes that tackles him, actually. It was one of them. It was someone. It might not be Marcondes. I'll have to check that. But he gets tackled nonetheless. The ball breaks, and Brentford are immediately on the counter-attack. And quite similar, sort of, to the way that they had a goal scored against them in their semi-final, because Bournemouth scored on the break from a corner, didn't they? I think we had more players back, but we just couldn't deal with it. So initially I thought Kyle Norton's done well when he's stopped the shot, but at the same time, when you look at it, he's also given that player a lot of time to pick out a man, and he cuts the ball back, doesn't he? And Marcondes, to be fair, that was a really good finish.
Has done well, Norton, I think, to stop it. Most annoying part for that goal really annoyed me though, because when I watched it back, if you watch back the clip, when Mbeumo gets the ball, he's clear. The furthest player back on the pitch is Marcondes. The furthest player back, apart from the Brentford goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So I think Norton does well to shepherd him out wide. Obviously, he has loads of time to pick out that pass of him coming back.
Yeah.
Orahan is jogging back. I'd look at Ayew and Lowe as well, who have got pace to get back, but they don't. I think like Guehi and Cabango were busting a gut to get back, but
and Grimes actually made up a lot of ground.
Grimes did get back, didn't he, at the time, in all fairness. But yeah, it just really annoyed me because it looked like on the day as well, like nobody's getting back. He should never have had time to stop there. You could say Norton maybe gives him so much time, but he should never be able to just pick out that ball with him in no space. I guess they all should have been busting a gut to get back. I guess
the point is, like, Norton is doing his job, isn't he? Stopping a shot coming in, he's making him pass away. He's in the box at this point, so he's probably thinking, I'm not going to go and dive in because if I give away a penalty, like we're 2-0 down. He's expecting his teammates to do their job and to track back and make sure whoever's passed to at least can't get a shot away and has to pass again and so on and so on. But the guy that's coming in is literally not marked. So
no, there's no excuse for that one. That really annoyed me. Yeah. And I know, like we say about like Lowe and Ayew and everyone had a good season, but they sprint back there, they cover him.
Yeah,
in front of him.
So I don't think Norton's not to blame at all. I think he's done. It could have been a goal. Like if he doesn't defend well in the first place, then Mbeumo could have been through, couldn't he? So
argue a bit about the wing backs as well, because Connor Roberts is basically all the way up.
But he doesn't. He does get back by the end of it. But
I know, but it's clever. It's clever from Mbeumo because he leaves Connor Roberts bomb on. If you watch him, he's with him.
Yeah.
Leaves him bomb on, and then he leaves him go, and he drifts out to that wing then, which is where he's on his own.
Yeah. But again, we'll discuss the formation a little bit at the end. We were lucky though. A couple of minutes later, I think our heads really were rattled at this point, but we were lucky to not be 3-0 down. Loose ball in the midfield sort of drops really nicely really to Ivan Toney, who is Horahan. He's trying to clear it upfield, gets blocked, and then someone wins the header, bounces down, and Ivan Toney just on the half volley just smacks it, and it hits the crossbar. And well, thank God for goal line technology. That's all I can say.
I was behind it. And I was literally eye line with that shot, and I said, as soon as he hit there, I was, oh my God, I said,
I thought watching on the telly, I was like, his watch is going. His watch is going. It's going to be a goal. But
what a strike that was!
Like, I mean, you could, if that went in. To be honest, that's nobody's fault, and you couldn't have any complaints. I don't think you could argue maybe it gets closed down more, but it was kind of one of them where the ball was bouncing around, and the team that's 2-0 up full of confidence just gets to run a play there, and he just goes for it. He hasn't scored a goal from outside the box all season, Ivan Toney, so
I know.
full of confidence, and he just goes for it. If that, like, fair play if it goes in, that's what I'm saying. You can't really, there's nothing you can say, is there, really?
No, I don't think you can say about that, but like, we would have been 3-0 down there, and deservedly so. That's how bad we were in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think after that point, they didn't really do any more that I can recall in terms of, like, they were all really good chances and they scored 2 of them. Well, the third one a really good chance. That was, like, would have been a wonder goal. But they'd done their job. They knew at that point we had to break them down, and it kind of felt like that for the rest of the match, except for the fact that we can't really break teams down very well these days. As soon as it went 2-0, I think Steve Cooper changed to a 4 at the back. He did put Roberts on the wing. But it was kind of like too little, too late. Going into the second half, Andre Ayew has a golden chance to pull us back 2-1. And I think that changes the game a lot. However, he's not able to capitalise. So Connor Roberts, and this is literally as soon as we kick off in the second half now, Connor Roberts is up on the right wing. He puts a really good ball in. It's kind of dropping and bouncing in between the 2 centre-backs, and they can't judge the flight of the ball very well as a result of the bounce. The keeper's also coming for it slightly. It's kind of in no man's land a little bit, but Andre Ayew's coming through the middle of the 2 centre-backs. The first one misses it, and on the bounce, Ayew manages to get his head on the ball. Any sort of contact on target, and that goes in, but he unfortunately couldn't quite get there in time. I don't want to be too harsh to him, because I think it's not a case of he put it wide. He just couldn't get there in time to put it into the goal. Like, by the time he got the glance that he took on it, took it wide, because he was just a slightly bit too late. But as much as I'm not criticising Andre Ayew, I think that just highlights how much we need a striker, because he's coming late all the time, and that's the sort of opportunity you miss as a result of him not being a natural striker.
Yeah, that was a great ball in from Connor Roberts. So I think you're right though. If we score there, I'd love to. I know it's all ifs and buts, and Brentford were miles the better side on the day and deserved to go up. But I'd obviously love to know if we stayed tight and got in a half-time 0-0, like we said, pressure's on them. I'd love to have known, like, if Ayew puts that chance in and it gets 2-1 early, maybe they crumble a bit. Because of the importance of it to them, but you don't know. We don't know, but it would have been massive if he scored there.
You'd like to think, like, Thomas Frank's team talk completely changes in terms of, like, his team talk don't change. He just had his team talk. They've come out and conceded straight away. So whatever he said, like, the players all of a sudden, like, it's gone. You know what I mean? So and they, without being too disrespectful to them, they have kind of, when the pressure's come on them in the last couple of years, they've kind of let themselves down. Like, they should have finished second last year. Perhaps they should have this year. They didn't win the playoff final last year, and they should have as well. So when there's been a bit of pressure, they've buckled under it. So 2-0 up and they're cruising. Yeah, it's easy for them to manage that afterwards. But if we score that goal in, like, the 47th minute or whatever it was, and put that pressure on, because you only need one more to take it to extra time. It's anyone's game again. It's not like you don't have to get the win in the normal time in the situation we were in there. So it's just like all of a sudden they've got something else to think about, and can they handle it again? Does the doubt start creeping in from all these missed opportunities in the past? But we weren't able to put that on them. So again, it was a little bit of a breeze for them. After that then, no notable chances from the Swans as far as I'm concerned. Nothing I can really mention. There is one big thing, but I'll mention that in a sec. Do you remember any other notable chances?
One where Lowe sort of had a turn and shot. I can't remember if it was after red, but Lowe sort of had a turn and shot his left foot. But no, literally, I'm scrambling to try and find a chance.
Yeah. So the big thing that happened after that was there was a red card. We said there could have been one in the 6th minute from Matt Grimes, but one of his partners in centre midfield decided to have an early bath instead. Look, I think the best way to say about this is it probably is a red card in the fact that he's brought someone down in the way that he's done it, but it's 1000% accidental. That is so harsh that it's like you kind of can and can't argue it at the same time. Like, you can understand exactly why the ref has done it in real time, and he's probably made the right call in real time, because when you watch that in real time, it looks horrific. It looks like he's gone through the back of him. But when you look at it on the replay in the slow motion, basically what's happened is they both run into the ball in the corner. It's going out for a throw-in. Brentford players getting it first. Fulton's coming in behind. And his running line, it's a bit clumsy of a running line, really, because he just runs into him. And when I say runs into him, I'm not sure who the Brentford player is, unfortunately, but his standing leg and Fulton's forward leg, basically Fulton's forward leg, as he's running, stands on the heel of the Brentford player, completely by accident, just a running collision. But because he's done that, he's lost his footing, and because of the forward momentum, he's just sort of flown through the back of him. And that's why it looks so bad. But it's completely accidental. You just know that's not. I know Fulton puts a big challenge in, but he's not dirty in that regard. And people were saying what a stupid thing for him to do, and the player was going nowhere. They're up in their own corner, and yeah, that's all right stuff to say. And that's why when you look at it, you can see how accidental it is and how unintentional. But at the same time, you can't really argue with the ref's decision because of what he's seen in real time, and he hasn't got VAR to help him. I don't know if VAR would change that. I mean, they might, but the way VAR's been.
I thought they would have, but apparently they've given him the 3-match ban now for that.
Does it not get reset now because it's a new season?
Oh, he'll carry over, so he'll miss the first 3 games next year.
But they didn't appeal it today, so.
I don't know. I don't know if they will.
You've got to appeal it to have it overturned. They won't just overturn it.
Yeah, I don't know if they did appeal it, but yeah, they've given him a 3-game ban anyway.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, like you said, you could try that 100 times, and that would only happen once.
And
because he doesn't change his running line, he doesn't change his foot to do it. It's literally the perfect moment for him to stand on the back of his leg.
Yeah.
And like you said, because he's slipped forward, his other leg comes up, so it looks like he's scissor tackled him from behind. That's exactly what it looks like.
The way you know that it's an accident and not he's stood in him and then goes through the back of him is because when he makes contact with the Brentford player's standing leg, which is his trailing leg, Fulton's forward leg goes on it, and as the Brentford player's still trying to run, he's picking up his leg while Fulton's leg is forward on it, takes Fulton's leg with him, which is what makes Fulton fall over with his legs going through the back of him. You have to see it to sort of see what I'm saying. But Fulton at this point, his leg, he's got both legs are in the air, and he has no control over them because one of them's still planted on the back of the Brentford player. The other one's in the air because of his running, and this one is just on the back of the Brentford player's leg as he's getting lifted up. So he's kind of completely not in control, flying forward in a kind of sitting down position. It's kind of hard to sort of explain, but
yeah, I gotta be honest. When I wasn't that far from it, I thought straight away, I was Red. It looked like a Gorka Pintado special on Robbie Savage in real time. That's what it looked like, just a big scissor kick from the back. But the ref was quick to get the red out, though.
No,
literally, by the time Fulton had turned around, it was out.
Yeah, he was definitely quick. But you got to say, in real time, it did look
in real time, I thought it was a red. As soon as he did it, I thought, oh my God, it's a red card.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone through I feel like I can't really criticise the ref there. Because he didn't have the VAR to help him. Well, I've got it in front of me here, and you can literally see when the foot's made contact with the other foot, the way that it's just sliding forward. That's how you can see it's so accidental. But
yeah, it's just unlucky. It's just really unlucky.
Another observation from it, just looking now, he's lucky he didn't damage his knee, Fulton, because when he does get his leg trapped like that, and it's going forward with the momentum of the Brentford guy picking his leg up, a little bit like what Jordan Morris did, but his knee's bending inwards, which I've only just noticed. But not saying that should change anything. Just you could see how it wasn't something he was intentionally trying to do, because if he lands awkward there, that could have been nasty. So for both of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the bottom line of this happening is the fact that the game's over, essentially. We did look like we were coming in around the box a little bit. We weren't really creating anything, but we were trying. It was kind of huffing and puffing and not getting anywhere, I think. But it could have only taken one opportunity putting it in to just make it nervous.
Literally had just gone to the 4-3-3. It just brought Cullen on.
Yeah.
Gone to the 4-3-3 when that happened.
Well, I think he'd done it earlier.
In hindsight,
brought the players on that suited it better.
in hindsight, it was yeah, you're right. It actually did go the 4-3-3. That's what I mean. He just brought Cullen on,
and Danda was on it as well.
No, I think he brought Dander on after the red, didn't he?
Oh, could have been.
But anyway,
I mean, at this point, I was like,
oh, yeah. It was game over then. As soon as the red was the
Dander came on 2 minutes before the red, so it was Cullen on the 60th minute for Norton.
Right, so
Dander came on for Horahan, 63rd
Who knows? Because again, hindsight, with going to a more attacking formation and even bringing Dander on, be a bit more attacking. Like you said, 1 goal was still early doors, wasn't it?
Doesn't matter what time you score.
As soon as the red came out, it was over.
65, 70, even 80th minute, if you get one back, like everything. You just throw the kitchen sink to you and try and get second, take it to extra time, and they're nervous holding on, like, oh my god, we just need to hold on, 1 goal lead, 10 minutes to win the Prem, so anything could happen. Just look at the game when we went up, like against Reading. We were 3-0 up, and Reading nearly came back 3-0. So anything could have happened.
Right after half time.
Yeah. So whatever. Anyway, it wasn't our day this time. It is what it is. We just need to learn from it. So I don't want to talk too much about the season and what we think of that. That will be in our next video. And whether Steve Cooper's here or not. There's a couple of things I do want to mention though. First of all, just briefly, all these links with Palace. It's come out apparently he has already had 2 interviews. I mean, you're never going to know how true it is because they're not going to come out and say, are they? But it seems that apparently he had 2 interviews with Palace before the playoff final and was happy to potentially leave regardless of the result. How true that is, I'm not sure. But if true, do you think would that have had an impact on the result?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy. I struggle to buy into some of these things that always come out like they've had 2 interviews and. Don't know. If it is true, then yeah, I do think it would have had an impact on the final.
Well, we'll see, won't we? If he's here in the next couple of days, I guess.
Apparently, Nuno was favourite, wasn't he, for Palace? But apparently not now. I don't know. There's going to be a massive jumble of managers now in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, there's still articles floating around about Cooper going to Palace. I saw people quoting on Twitter that today was the day that it would be announced, or that the club was going to give Cooper. This morning it came out, actually, the club was going to give Cooper an ultimatum, like, you either go in or you stay in, you need to tell us today so we can plan.
It needs to happen soon if it's happening, because there's just no point in wasting time now.
But yeah, so if nothing's come out today, like it's Thursday, we're recording at 6 o'clock in the evening, nothing's come out. So all the stuff I said this week, they were all saying Thursday was the day we'd know. Nothing's happened yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, this video probably isn't going to go till Friday, and who knows, maybe we would have known by then. But yeah, so there's no
in which
news.
Case, fucking hell, he had interviews and ruined the final, definitely. Or I said it was fine. There's nothing to do with him going to Palace. It was fine.
We wouldn't know. I'm just throwing that out there because that's stuff that's been circulating. So maybe we're not going to talk about that until we know any more concrete data there. It's frustrating though that even news coming out about it before the game, because that could have an impact. I'd like to think it wouldn't on the players. At the end of the day, regardless of what's happening with the manager, they would all benefit from going up to the Premier League. So why would their performance dip because the manager's been linked elsewhere?
I don't know, but a lot of the said earlier on in the season, our form seemed to dip after the links came out. When earlier on in the season, when the links came out with him going to Palace.
Yeah, it's easy to say that though when we had such a good first half of the season. Any sort of tail off just coincidentally is after that, and then do you know what I mean? We don't know.
I know. It could be anything, couldn't it? But we kind of know the reason why we tailed off. But
I feel like it's more squad depth than links.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah.
Anyway, the other thing is, as you touched on earlier, the formation. So all these games at the end of the season we're going 4 at the back. The first 2 semi-finals we did 4 at the back. I thought when I saw the team sheet, Roberts was just going to be on the wing. So I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong, but he goes 5 at the back. And we played Brentford twice this season with that formation and we drew both games. I just don't get why he's gone back.
We've said how well Cooper has done with the squad. He's gotten everything, so massive praise to him. So I'm not gonna sort of say this makes him a bad manager, but he got it wrong. He got it 100% wrong.
Do you know why I think he's done it?
Totally wrong.
because I think Liam Cullen was quiet in that first leg. Routledge got injured. He didn't. I think he wanted to play Roberts instead of Cullen.
I think so.
And he shoehorned him in by changing formation.
He wanted his best available 11 on the pitch, no matter where they were playing. He wanted like Connor Roberts, like you said, instead of Cullen. He wanted him on the pitch, and that's why he's done it probably.
Yeah. For me, I think and also Brentford have changed to a 3 recently, so maybe that was in his mind, like, we'll match them. But for me, you give them a different question to answer, because they answered that twice this year. The second time they should have beaten us. And I don't think Cullen was really in the picture so much when we played them in the past. So give their defence the striker to mark that is going to run these different lines and do all this thing. When it's 0-0, not when it's like they're all parking the bus because they're 2-0 up. When it's 0-0 and they're pushing against us and we can get them on the break. Ultimately, who knows how much difference it would have made, because the ball for the penalty, for example. Well, you don't know. Everyone could have been slightly in a different place, and it's a different game entirely, isn't it? But you'd argue that ball shouldn't come through in a 3 at the back over a 4. You'd think a 4, you'd be more likely to concede that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he did it. It's annoying because I don't think we've played. Someone would correct me, but I don't think we've played a back 3 with the wing back since Lee Bowyer's comments that we were predictable
against Birmingham.
I think that was the last time we played a back 5. Started with it anyway, or back 3, whatever you want to say. So I don't understand why. I think we had settled into it then as well. Obviously, we had the bad run. We went to the back 4. We still had a couple of bad results, but then we had settled into it. I thought quite nicely. Played that in the first 2. In the semi-final legs. Bango and Guehi were absolutely brilliant at the back, and all the back 4 were brilliant. So I don't know why you would disrupt that defensive unit. That's what annoyed me, especially against Brentford. Why would you disrupt that defensive unit in a final, in a big game? Because I think if we keep it tight, like we did against Barnsley, keep that tight for the first half. Like I said, get in 0-0 half time. Then, like we do, maybe nick a goal or something. Then who knows? So I don't know why. I don't know why he changed it. And again, hindsight is wonderful. If we had won the game when he went to the back 5, then we would have been like, "Oh, it's a genius move." But
yeah, no, that's true.
I don't know why.
But I think it is true. But it's constructive criticism, and it's not like just jumping on his back. And he made a mistake.
He knows more than we do.
We got to call him out, and we'll be quick to praise him when he does something right. It's only fair that we do the same the other way as well. We don't want to be biased in either direction. Overall, I think he's done a great job. We'll discuss that more in the next video, but he did get this one wrong in my opinion as well. So as much as I hate to see Thomas Frank's smug face, and look, Brentford, the team, they've had a good couple of years, and I've liked the way they've played for a while, back like before he was there. It's just frustrating after everything that's happened with him to see them going up, but good luck to them when they go to the Premier League.
Deserved it. But clearly, like we say about tactics and ifs and buts, clearly they were the better side on the day.
100%.
But it didn't have to work too hard for it, which was a bit annoying. I think even if we put in a big performance, maybe they still would have beaten us, because I think they are that sort of level above us. I think in terms of the squad depth they've got and the quality they've got. But yeah, I just think I just would have loved to have seen us put up a bit more of a fight.
They've got a 30-goal striker at the end of the day.
Exactly.
If you put a 30-goal striker into our team, then who knows what might have happened. But that's just a massive difference, and that's something that we can't afford. Let's be honest, because
the top 3 went up as well, didn't they? 1, 2, 3 all went up. So I think it was fair. In terms of the quality, I think we were all sort of. I think deep down we were all sort of hoping that it could happen, but I think it would have been a big upset if we had beat Brentford in that final. I think.
Hey, I was getting stick left, right, centre in our predictions for saying that Brentford would beat us in the final, but as much as your heart wants you to say Swansea, sometimes you've got to be realistic, and I just felt we didn't have enough this year, and look, it turns out it was the case. Doesn't mean I don't like the Swans or want them to do any, want them to win. I would have happily been proved wrong, But sometimes in sport, you just aren't the better team, and the better team won on the day, and that's the fair result. It's not the end of the world at all. We just move on next year and try build again.
I think when we got to the final, I thought, oh, we can do this. It's a one-off game.
Yeah, anything can happen in a one-off.
And then, but as the week went on, and then was going to Wembley on Saturday, I just thought, I just didn't fancy it.
Yeah.
I just had a feeling I just didn't fancy it then. They had too much.
One last time then. Any standout players for you?
Bloody hell.
That's a hard question.
Not really. Can go the other way. We can say who didn't play well.
I mean, I think Grimes had a good game other than that early tackle. Like, it's difficult to say.
Because the game was over, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was over. I think he did solid. Like, it's a difficult occasion. You could see how much it meant to him at the end of the match when he was upset. Because some people did say lack of passion and all that rest of it, which did frustrate me. You don't get to that position with a lack of passion.
Easy throwaway comment again.
Yeah, you don't get to a playoff final if you don't have passion. And, you could tell at the end, the players, it meant something to the players. Like, they didn't want to lose the game. It happens. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was the defence's best game. Probably.
But like I said though, like even after all right, they scored the penalty, which was a bit of a defensive mix-up, I think, and then we were a bit all over the shop, and they didn't track back for the second goal, and then obviously Tony hits one from miles out, just out of nothing, and then I can't really remember much else that they did either.
No, that's what I'm saying.
After the 2-0,
there
was a
loads of chances after that. There wasn't really much that happened, but they didn't need to do much. So, I mean, we could have scored a goal and they could have come straight back at us. So we don't know really. We're saying it would have tensed it up a bit, but they might be like, okay, we need to get another one, and just turned it on again. All right, let's go the other way then, because no one really had a really good game. Let's be honest. They were all average at best. What about the other way then? Who wasn't so great? Who specifically had a poor game?
Don't know. I think everybody was quiet. Like, I think sort of players like and I didn't really see him do much. But again, the main one, and I feel bad. I don't want to jump on the agenda because everyone seems to hate him. But Horahan was poor. Oh my god.
He just.
I would say he was poor in all 3 playoff games as well.
I just don't know. There's more going on there. Like, he just don't suit the style of play. Because you can see he's got quality. He's had quality in the past. Like, I'll just put up his stats again just to see.
No, but even so, like, he gave the ball away so much in the midfield, like loose passes. Say, like, we brought him in to be a set piece specialist. Like, that's his. He's got a lovely left foot. 2 free kicks in the corner, lovely positions. Connor Roberts took them both. So why was he on the field?
No, I clearly agree with you, but I just don't get why. Like, I just feel like there's something weird that's happened there, because the Villa fans didn't want him to go. Like, they were happy to keep playing him in the Premier League. Like, do you know what I mean? There's
another thing, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Has he secured a move for next year already? He's just in second gear.
Apparently, he has got a year left in his contract to Villa. So whatever sources we were looking at online, like, they're wrong. He has got a year.
I wonder if he's got a move already, because it does happen with loan players. They get loaned out, but they know that someone's sort of.
It's just weird, isn't it? Because like, he's definitely better than what he's shown in the last couple of weeks with Swansea. So I don't know whether it is like he's really struggling to do what Cooper's asking, and then as a result of a couple of bad games, his confidence is just not there anymore. Who knows what it is? The bottom line is he just hasn't been good.
Didn't get the best out of. Well, we didn't get the best of him. Nowhere.
We had the best out of him for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then that was it. But onwards. Well, I'd happily take George Byers back there. To be honest, like, I know we're going to talk about that sort of stuff more in next videos, but I don't feel like George Byers offers less.
Oh no, definitely not. Not on that evidence what we've seen over the last few weeks. But I tell you what, we did get my man Dander. We had a Rosed. Lovely chance. Well, not a lovely chance, but on the edge of the box, good opportunity.
I swear, every time he comes off the bench, he does that once. Every time he comes off the bench.
And again, look, we joked and we joke a bit, but in all seriousness, he never hits the target. There was nobody in his way. It was bouncing lovely. All he has to do is hit the target. If it gets blocked,
he needs to start leaning forward a bit, doesn't he?
Could take a deflection. It could go in. That could be the turning point. It's Rosed again.
He's done that in so many games this year, though, where he has just finessed it, and it's like, oop, playing rugby today. But Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk. Right, we're going to do another video then for a season review where we'll discuss some of this stuff in more detail. Then we're going to talk like in another video about the players awards, stuff like that. And then maybe we'll have a look at this team as a whole. So who's leaving, what sort of loans are coming to an end, who can we bring up from the youth squad, what sort of transfers do we need, and maybe try and do some scouting of some potential stuff, players that we think might fit in. So that's kind of where we're going to look at for the summer. We'll also look at doing some stuff for the Euros. We're going to plan a new format for how we're going to approach our weekly, our match videos next year. It'll be slightly different. I think we're going to try and do one main one a week where we'll do look at the match that's just happened. Maybe they will have a review of everything else in the championship and then look at the next match. So if there's 2 matches in 1 week, we'll do them both in one video rather than just to try and cut down on the workload, I guess, because otherwise it's like 4 videos a week and guess a lot around our jobs. But we can also then look at other stuff if we've got extra time, not just post and pre-match stuff. So we're in the middle of planning that. So stay with us, and any ideas you've got for stuff you'd like to see, let us know in the comments as well. Anything else you want to add, Lee?
No, not much. I thoroughly enjoyed the season. Good start for us. In all fairness, since we started in January.
Yeah. Good. It wasn't our fault that we started playing bad. Just saying, it wasn't our fault. the dip came after us, like a month after.
Because we were doing the videos when we beat Norwich, I remember. So it wasn't us.
Yeah. If you want to check out Lee's match day experience in Wembley, you can follow us on TikTok. He's put a video up there of how his day went and his view and all that sort of stuff. Other than that, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and obviously just subscribe to this channel and leave a like and engage in the comments, and we shall see you in the next one. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.
See you soon.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swansea related t-shirts.